Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. So today I got a fun and interesting episode for you guys this evening as Hoffman just released his Metal Gear port to the Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive. And if you've never played the original Metal Gears, you're definitely missing out. I feel like most people came into the series of Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1 and kind of moved forward from there, but the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 on MSX are some of the best games as far as 2D action stealth games are concerned, and it has a lot of lore from Metal Gear that you definitely want to find out if you are a fan. And now having this working on something like Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, it's just a more fun way to play the game in my opinion. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But honestly, Metal Gear is a spectacular game, and this is where Hideo Kojima basically starts the entire franchise. So many of the characters and overall tropes of Metal Gear get their start here, and if you've never played these games before, you definitely should check them out. Sure, they're a little bit older, they're definitely not in 3D, but they are not antiquated in any way, shape, or form, and they are still some of the best 2D action stealth you can get. And honestly, having these on the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive is just a fun bonus. Now, if you do want to play this, be aware it works on original hardware if you have a flash cartridge. It works on MiSTer FPGA in the Genesis core like I'm playing it here, and it should work on pretty much every software emulator out there that will run Sega Genesis games. So it's going to be very easy to play this one, and again, if you've never played it, I can't recommend this one enough. Just go out there, give it a shot. You're going to have a metric ton of fun with it. Just be aware right off the top that this game does not hold your hand. It doesn't pull any punches. Pretty much everything in this game wants Snake dead very quickly, and you're basically going to have to do some trial and error to understand exactly how the game is supposed to move forward, because it is an action stealth game, but there is going to be a light puzzle element to it as well. Not like actually solving traditional puzzles, but understanding the guard's movements through every single screen and figuring out the safest way to move forward, because trust me, you don't want to alert the guards if you don't have to. Every single bullet you waste is just going to be something as a resource that you don't have moving forward, and you're going to want those. And that is where a lot of the fun in the original Metal Gear comes from. There's different screens, different ways to move around the world, and you can definitely either screw yourself over completely or absolutely make it easier on yourself if you play this game in the proper order. Now, I don't recommend that you play any sort of game with a walkthrough the first time, but just trust me, if you go to the right screens at the right time, you're going to get the right items that you need. Because you'll see there, I picked up the keycard 1, and that is going to be crucially important moving forward to actually progress in the game. But then I end up dying, and I forget to pick that card up again, which means that I get all the way to the area in which I would use that card and then realize I had forgotten to pick it up a second time. This game has a very tight structure, and you have to basically get all of the items in the appropriate order, whilst you're going to have to do some backtracking, but that is part of the fun as well. You think you're making good progress, then suddenly you realize you've screwed yourself over completely. But when you thread the needle on those guards and you actually don't activate them, you end up feeling basically like you are a stealth ninja seal god, and that is the fun part of this game. When you're playing it well, it just 100% hits. And again, who wouldn't want more lore in the Metal Gear franchise? Now, that middle truck right there, a little bit of a spoiler, you definitely don't want to go into that one. It's just filled with guards, and we have picked up a handgun, but we haven't found any ammunition for it yet. The game basically teases you by saying, now you have a weapon, but you can't quite use it yet. But you can use these landmines. I try to get out of a spot here, and I'm almost successful at doing it, but honestly, I just screwed up at the last second. Just like every other Metal Gear game, you don't really want to engage in combat in this one if you don't have to. If you're just patient and look around the screen and wait to see what's moving and where, you can basically get a ton of free progress, because you'll see here, ran right into those two Uber guards at the door and they destroyed me. But if you wait on this screen for like 10 to 15 seconds, you're going to get a relief icon, and that means it is time for the guards to change themselves out, and now we can get into that door and up to the next area without actually having to engage in combat or waste any of our precious resources. And resource management in this game is 100% going to matter. You'll see here, sometimes there's just cameras sliding around the world. I screwed that up and I end up dead, and again, you got to move back to at least the checkpoint. But it is nice that this game does provide checkpoints. You just need to make like 5 to 10 minutes of progress. You're going to checkpoint out, and then you should be good to go. When obviously, if you played on software emulation, I wouldn't abuse save states, but they will exist as well. And it also has a great remix soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, and I'll be right back with a lot more Metal Gear. But enjoy! I love the bassy reverb in a lot of the tracks in this game. Just so you know, the audio was done by Ice Dragon as well as Hoffman and Engelbart. And if Engelbart doesn't sound familiar, he's got a great YouTube channel. I chat with him on Twitter every once in a while, so I can't recommend checking his channel out enough because the music in this game from all three contributors just sounds so good coming out of the Sega Genesis hardware. And again, it's just so nice that these have been ported off MSX and onto the Sega Genesis, because the MSX versions of the games are definitely the de facto way to play in my opinion. But if you don't own an original MSX, getting the emulation set up can be a little bit tricky. Where obviously Sega Genesis, you're going to emulate it or put this on a flash card, you're probably going to have one of those consoles around. You'll see here I have to run back and grab all of the things out of these three trucks because again, when I died earlier in the video, I forgot to actually go back and grab these items before I progressed in the game. So definitely pay attention to what's going on around you. Remember where you get all of those different items. You're going to need each and every one of those if you actually want to make that forward momentum. It's just one of those things. Nothing hurts more than realizing you got all the way to where you need to use a key card that you knew where it was and you forgot to pick it up on that second playthrough. So don't be an idiot like me. Make sure you grab those. But there's something funny and charming about just realizing that you've left behind that key item, pun very much intended, because it is a key card. You have to run all the way back. You do not make that same mistake twice when you're playing Metal Gear. But the best part about this is it's just one of those why not projects. Every time something like this happens, I get comments down below saying, why bother porting this? We already have it on other platforms. My answer is always, why not? Why not have more fun, more ways to play an amazing game, and more ways to introduce more people to the overall Metal Gear saga? Because if you've ever played any of the other Metal Gear Solid games and you didn't start with the original Metal Gear or Metal Gear 2, you are missing out on a big chunk of the overall story and basically how these characters actually end up getting their personality. This is every bit as good as something like Metal Gear Solid. It just happens to be in 2D, not 3D. And trust me, this game is definitely going to screw with you because I forgot that there was gas in this room and totally ended up dying the minute I walked in, losing all of my progress. We had to get the gas mask with the key card, and again, I ran by that just because I was trying to capture the video to get to edit. You'll see here there is a door, and I'm not really spoiling anything because this is early game where you can pick that gas mask up, and that is going to be crucial for your entire run through this game. And if you do wait around, sometimes guards will just completely fall asleep. Right here, they're just basically giving you the information that that can happen. So on some screens, just basically waiting around is the way to play the game. Do not rush into this. Don't just run through screens. I guarantee you it is a one-way ticket to the game over and continue screen. You'll see here I just squeaked by those guards. Take your time. This is action stealth just like all of the actual Solid games, and you will do much better. And in some instances, you really are kind of stuck here. I've never found a way to get around these cameras. I'm not sure if there is a way, but if you time it up just right, you can get in some safe corners and just beat the hell out of the enemies that are coming in. So definitely use your corners. I should have waited there a little bit longer to kill them, but you'll see here, if you stack them up, you can basically kind of cheese or abuse the systems in the game to give you a little bit easier of a run through. And now that we have that gas mask, we will be perfectly fine. But one more soundtrack sample, because again, the music in this game straight up amazing on the Sega Genesis. 30 seconds and I'll be right back with just a little bit more. I know it's Metal Gear music, but honestly I feel like Hideo Kojima was really trying to copy John Carpenter in a loving way, because that music would fit perfectly fine in They Live or Escape from New York any day of the week and twice on Sundays. I just absolutely love the music in this game, and all of these Genesis conversions just sound absolutely spectacular as well. And you'll see there I did take that ration. You want to save those until you really need them, especially if your life is about halfway up, because if you use a ration, it can basically just waste some of that remaining health if you don't need it. I'm really not sure what this is in this room here. Seems like the entire base is just stacking their beer kegs up and turning them into weapons. Never quite sure again what that thing is. I've always been curious about it, so if you have any ideas, leave me a comment down below. But trust me, grab this game today and give it a full playthrough, especially if you're a Metal Gear fan that have never played the original two games. I will leave a link in the description below to itch.io where you can grab this, and trust me, it is 100% worth your time playing. But again, take my advice, even if I don't rush forward. You're going to end up screwing yourself over and just ending up dead very quickly. But short of that, we're done. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Trust me, play this one though. Bye-bye.